Recording here in just a second. But welcome everybody. I'm glad everybody's here today. We're going to be talking about using or creating goals with your students. But sometimes, in this virtual environment that we're in, it's going to be kind of hard for us to have a face-to-face with them. Yes, we've got all of our other students and we could use breakout rooms to do this, but sometimes you want to just really get to that personal level with them and you don't want to just take one student to a breakout room. And so we were thinking about another way that you could do it is by recording yourself, giving feedback and, commenting on a student's data by looking at their data sheet that they have and recording just a little video. And it doesn't have to be super long, just so you can go over the main points and then maybe kind of guide them to what you think that their goal might be, and then having them respond to you using video. And I'm going to be showing you two different programs to do that. And both of them we have access to. One of them we've actually paid for everybody, and that's Screencastify. That's the first one I'm going to be showing you. The second one is Flipgrid, because our kids really seem to be drawn to Flipgrid. And I like both of them because they both store that video in different places. One of them, of course, stores in the Google Drive. That'll be our Screencastify, and the other one stores actually on the Flipgrid servers, so that's okay too. And we can make them private so nobody else will have access to them, and that way they're just between myself and that student. But time is of the essence, right? We don't have the time to sit down and have those conversations with our kids each and every day. We'd love to. But even in a regular classroom setting, if we take away all this COVID stuff and we are back in the classroom, let's say Monday, they tell us we're going back, everything is fine again, it was like we never had COVID, we would not be able to get to all of our students at any given time because, there are a lot more of them than they are of us. So sitting down and spending, those few minutes with each one of our students, that could take a whole class period. That could take a whole half a day, right? Especially if you're really getting into a conversation about goals. So why not do it virtually with a video? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you. Now this is Mayhem. He's my cat. This is his data for first grade. So I'm going to show you his data right here. And this went through November the 9th because we haven't had a chance this past week to do any further testing, or we haven't actually posted the data yet. But you're going to see he's on reading level 28. He's doing very well. He's got very good comprehension and he's got some good writing skills. He did have a little bit of a problem with writing back right around Halloween time. He wasn't feeling too great, so I think that might have been part of the problem there. So what I did is I actually created a video, and I put it here on his data sheet because I know this is where we go to look at data together at different times. This is assigned to him through Google Classroom, so he has his own copy. This is his sheet here, and all he has to do is click on this link here, and that will take him to the video that I've created for him. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up that video. And what's really nice about Screencastify is that if I am recording a tab, a lot of times it'll put untitled, because especially if I'm doing my entire screen, but it actually put the title of this data sheet on the Screencastify video. So now I know that video belongs to Mayhem when it's in my Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you so you can hear it. Not that you need to hear me anymore. I'm going to go ahead and play this, and hopefully it'll play properly.
Hi, Mayhem. I'm here looking at your data for your language arts. I have to say how impressed I am. Let's take a look here. On November the 9th, we tested you and you are at a 28 reading level. That is really awesome. How can we make that level go up even higher? I know that right now you're reading Junie B. Jones books, and I think that's great. Those are great chapter books, but I think we need to even take it a step higher. So I was thinking maybe we could get into maybe the Horrible Harry series. You might really like those. Horrible Harry, he's a really great character. So that might be something that we can do to get your level up even higher, because we don't want to just stop. We want to take you even higher. Your comprehension, which means your understanding what you're reading, is really, really high too. I am so proud of you. And look at your writing. You're doing such a great job in writing. Now, one of the assignments I see on here, you didn't do so well, but I know that you were saying you weren't feeling very good that day. So we're going to say that's probably why. But as far as our goals are concerned, let's start reading even a little bit harder chapter books, and we'll get together on that in a little while. I want to hear what you have to say about your goal for reading. Is there a different type of a topic that you'd like to start reading? I'd like you to answer me and let me know about that. And I also want to know about that non-academic goal that you were talking about, how you wanted to learn to play the guitar. How's that going for you? Are you learning it all? Are you trying to read up on how to do that? And if so, I really want to see what you're doing. So I will talk to you later. Thank you so, so much for doing such a great job in class. And I'm looking forward to hearing about what you say about your goals. Bye-bye now.
Okay. And any questions, first of all, about that wonderful video from Mayhem? And I apologize, but I am my own moderator today, and what I am looking at, I'm looking at the screen that I am actually presenting. So if you do have questions, please unmute your mic and let me know how I can help you, because I can't see the chat right now, and I'm sorry about that. I have one ginormous screen here, and so it's hard for me to split it up, because in a little bit I'm going to, yes, your question?
Misha, I have a question.
Yes.
At this point, did you train, let's say, would you have trained students on what the expectation was, like as far as where to record, when to record, how to
yes, and yeah, exactly. That was going to be my next follow-in. Of course, in order to use Screencastify, our kids have to know how to use it. They have to know where it is, how to put it in there. And of course, and I would also tell them, I don't want it very long, because, again, there's one of me and many of them, and having, I want to hear what they have to say about their goals. And again, their goals will be located on their own data sheet. This is Mayhem's data sheet, but all of my kids would have their own data sheet, and then that way their video would live there, the link to their video. And another great thing about having those links to the videos there is because if this data sheet is shared with parents as well, like during conferences, we can actually pull up those videos, and then they can hear their own children talking about setting goals and setting those non-academic goals as well as the academic goals. Because I really believe that, in order for us to know our kids more, is I want to find out more about you. So what is something that you're really, really passionate about that you want to do that doesn't really have to involve school? It can involve, swimming. I want to learn how to swim. I want to learn how to ride my bike. I want to learn how to play the guitar. I don't want to fight as much with my brother, whatever it may be. But yes, you're right. We do need to make sure we front load that and show them how to use this great application. And a lot of kids already know because we've had it for a little while, but I would definitely take the time to teach all of my students how to use this. And that's actually what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to record your tab like how I did with the data sheet here. And then it just automatically feeds into my into my Google Drive, and I didn't even have to go there to get the link. And I'll show you where I got the link and how I popped it in here. And then I want to get into a little bit of Flipgrid and show you another way that you can collect those videos, collect those goals from your students using Flipgrid. It's the same kind of a concept. We would put a link inside of the data sheet here, but everything lives in one place again over there on Flipgrid, and we can make all of their videos private, so that way nobody else will have access to. Because I know some kids it's like that. I actually wanted to have some responses to this from my own children. I was going to have set a goal for them, and both of them were like, yeah, Mom, please don't make me do that today. And this was a couple of days ago I was asking them. So I said, okay, I get it, I understand. And so if our kids are going to be like that, we want to make sure that when they do record, because then we want them to be honest, and we want them to have, feel that they have the freedom to say what they need to say. Is there another question?
Great. Thank you for me.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the presentation here, and I'm going to stop presenting my tab, and I'm actually going to present my whole entire screen. So that way we can look at, first of all, where our Screencastify is. And I know, and I apologize right now if some of you are experts in using Screencastify, because I know we have lots of experts out there, but I just want to go through those few steps, just kind of front load that a little bit. And then I'm going to take you into Flipgrid and if you haven't signed up for Flipgrid, you really, really need to. It's really, really easy. I'm going to show you that and how to start your first, we used to call them grids, but now they're called groups. So we're going to go through that process. And how would I use this with my kids? Of course, we're going to use this, to talk about goals. But again, they don't have to be academic goals. We can make them non-academic goals. But also, sometimes a student might say, you know what, I'm having a hard time with this. I was just in a last session where, they've got like a room open for those kids to go individually to talk to the teacher. And sometimes even that's a little hard for them, do that face to face. But if they could do it on a video, hey, you know what, I'm really having a hard time understanding my vocabulary. I can't do that. Then our kids, again, given that freedom, I can sit there and look at that. It might break my heart to hear them say that, but then I can actually, okay, I need to really connect with this kid. And yes, I can connect to them through video, but then I can also, have a conversation with them. And it's hard when you're in a meet like this because everybody else is there, right? And so we want to make sure that we give them the opportunity to talk, and sometimes it's easier for them to do it through video to us, and us to them, because they're getting that one-on-one, and I've seen kids who other teachers who have tried this kind of a setup, and the kids really do pay attention and do listen. So again, I just couldn't get my own kids to help me out a little bit with this one, but that's all right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and present my entire screen so that way you can see my my Screencastify. Okay, here we go. And hopefully it's not too small. Hopefully you can see it pretty well here. All right. Yeah, is it coming up yet? There it goes. Okay. So Screencastify is, we've actually purchased it, which means we have unlimited use of how many videos you can make. It used to be you were capped off at 50 per month, and the time limit was set to 10 minutes. But of course, now that's all changed because we've got the whole version of Screencastify. That's not going to really change how I would use it because I'm not going to go anywhere near 10 minutes. My little video there, I think, was probably maybe a minute or so. Is I don't want to take a long time. First of all, we know that kids aren't going to listen to long videos. There's been a lot of proof on that. But second of all, I don't, I can state things pretty precisely to them, and in that way because we're just talking about goals, we want to get those goals set so that way we can start to meet those goals. So we don't want to talk too much about it. So to get to Screencastify, up here in your extensions, it's kind of a coral colored arrow, and inside of that arrow is a little camera. It's right here, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and it's opening up now. Hopefully you see the little pop-up screen. And if you don't, please let me know. Okay, so here is my screen that's going to come up. Now I have some options here with Screencastify. I can choose to record my entire desktop. I can choose to record my web camera only, or I can choose to record a tab. And so what I did for Mayhem's data was I decided to do a tab because I wanted to make sure that I was recording the data in that particular tab. Now, right now, if I were to push record, I would be recording this tab, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to actually go to Mayhem's data again, and I'm going to go ahead and start it up again. Okay. And so if you record a tab, you're just going to record what is in this one tab. If I step away, if I click away from this, it will still be recording this tab, except you know, I will be on another tab, maybe talking about something else. So that's why some people like to do the entire desktop, which is a great thing to do. I'm a clicker. I normally do the desktop, but since I was referring to specific data on a specific data sheet as Mayhem's data is here, I wanted to just do this one tab. And of course I have my microphone hooked in, and you can see that it is actually the line is moving up and down. And I also embedded the webcam. And I did that so that way Mayhem would see my face. And because there's a lot of data about that, about saying that, you know, that you're making eye contact with them, even though we're not, you know, in the same room, in the same space. Making that contact with our students, with our eyes, is critical. It also helps them to think better. There's a lot of data behind it that goes back way before COVID. Okay, so that's something to think about. Under more options, you can have it do a countdown. You can have your drawing tools where, if let's say that I really wanted to focus on his reading level, because level 28, that's pretty darn awesome. So I would probably want to turn on my tools and circle that 28, because you can do that with the tools that they have here. And you can also include the tab audio if you want to. I don't want to do that because I'm just recording just what's on the screen. But let's say that I was recording a video. I could turn on the tab audio and it will record the audio that is in that tab, and it won't be recording. I can turn my microphone off, and so it won't be recording me. It'll be recording a video if I was doing this for a presentation or something like that, because we don't just need to use this for using it for feedback or using it for goals. We can use it for other things as well. But if for this particular purpose, I don't want to use the tab. So what I would do then is I would push record, and I'm only going to record just a few seconds here. And it's going to start getting things ready here. And that's giving me a count down here in the corner. Okay, and you're going to see there's my face down here in the corner. Okay, and I'm going along, and we're going to talk about whatever it is I'm going to be talking about with Mayhem. And when I'm ready to stop, I go back to that little icon. I click it. Give it a second to load. I think it's because I'm presenting and doing this all at the same time. And I'm going to go ahead and stop. And when I stop, it's going to open up a new window here. And it's going to show me what I did. And now the mute is on automatically, so that way I don't hear the sound, which is probably a good thing for right now. Okay, but what I want you to pay attention to, first of all, we have these little scissors here. So let's say that I started a little late, or and so I need to clip off some of the beginning part. I can do it over here. I can click off the end a little bit. Maybe I push stop and it took a long time for it to stop. I can clip off some of that end. If I need to. I can also open it up in the editor, and I can add some titles. I can do all kinds of other things just within this browser. It's so great what Screencastify can do. But what I really want you to pay attention to is right here. This is the copy the shareable link. This is what I took right here. So if I click that, so what it did is it's copying the link of where this video is. Now look here, I didn't put this title in here. It says Mayhem's Academic Data, Google Sheets, because what it did was it took the title from the document that I was on, from the tab I was on, which is great, because if I have all of my data sheets with my kids' names on them, then all of the videos are going to have their names on them if I use the tab to record like I just did. That was actually new to me. I didn't realize it was going to do that, because I thought I was going to have to rename it, and I realized that it named it for me, and I was so excited by that it was able to do that. So now that I have the link, then I can go back into the document, and then I can just paste the link right here. Paste, okay, and then I can actually make it so it stays within the cell if I want to. And then I would expect Mayhem to send me back a video as well and let me know when he sent a video back to me. And again, he could use Screencastify in the same way that I just did. And these videos live in your Google Drive. They're there forever. They're in a folder called Screencastify that lives in your drive. And that folder will not appear until you actually use the application for the first time, and then it'll appear, and then all the videos will get thrown into there for you, which is nice because they're all in one place. So this is just really a link that's going to my Google Drive that's pulling that video in for Mayhem to take a look at. Okay. But that's okay, because it's just between him and I. It's not between anybody else. We want to keep that just between us, right? We're talking about goals and things that we want him to accomplish, and so he can become a better version of himself. And again, these are great things to also share out with parents. I could actually email this link to a parent. I could text it to a parent. During that conference, we could sit down and we could watch this. I would love to show the ones that Mayhem did, showing, you know, him saying what he believes his goals should be to get himself higher than level 28. So this is a great tool to have, to share out those videos with one another. I think this is a great way to, especially now we can't be in the same room together. Okay. Are there any questions about Screencastify? It's very, very easy to use. And your students can use it on their Chromebook because they have a camera and they have a microphone. No questions? Let me check the chat here. Okay, we're good. All right. Just want to make sure. Okay. And I know I'm still presenting, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to right here. I'm going to go back home to Flipgrid here. Actually, I think I'm going to log out so that way we can start from the beginning. Okay. So Flipgrid is another way that we could record video. Now, this one does have a limit on recording time, but I get to choose it. I can choose anywhere from a minute all the way up to 10 minutes. I make the choice of how long the videos, what the limit is for those videos. But again, since we're talking about setting goals and just having those conversations, I don't think it's going to be very long. So I probably wouldn't give more than 90 seconds, a minute and a half, which is like the default for Flipgrid. Kids are really drawn to it because of all the other little goodies that they can use. You know, they can take a selfie and they can draw over their picture and they can do all kinds of things with it. And they really seem to like it. So what I'm going to do is when you go to flipgrid.com, you're going to go, actually, I'm just going to go to, hopefully it'll let me do this really quick here. I'm just going to take this all the way out and I'm just going to go flipgrid.com. It's just going to take me, there we go. Okay. So when you get to flipgrid.com, you're going to want to do the educator login. And if you don't have an account, all you have to do is sign in with Google, because that's the best way to do it. It's going to make that account for you. It's going to give you that password that you're not going to have to remember. So you go to educator login. Now it's probably going to log me in automatically because, well, not quite, because I need to log in with Google. So I log in with Google. Yes, use my Google account, please. Okay. And once you get in, what's really nice about Flipgrid is they used to only give you what was called a grid, and then you could make different topics for your grid. Well, then Microsoft bought out Flipgrid, and now we have unlimited use. It's going to be free forever for all of us, and there's a lot that we can do with it. Now, I have a lot of stuff, other stuff that's already in here, but I want to make a group just for my goal setting. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I need to make a group before I can even start my kids with their videos. So to do that, I'm going to create a group. Maybe. Come on now. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so my group name is going to be Daniel Goals. Okay. It's going to give me a join code for my students to get there. Okay. I don't want to do it by, I don't want to use your email or your student name. So instead of making it completely private, it's going to be public, but everything will remain private within it, if that makes any sense at all. So we have our join code, and we're going to go to next. Okay. So do I have any topics that I would like to duplicate from the previous ones? I'm going to skip this for now because I'm not going to worry about that. But look at the different ways that I can share out this particular group. Now, when the kids go to this group, that is when they will be able to record their videos, because all the videos are going to live within, this used to be called a grid, but now it's called a group. So all the videos will live in there, and we can put topics in there. So I could put language arts, I could put math, and then under there, they could put their goals for language arts or for math or for non-academic goals or whatever it may be. I can do any number of different ways to get those goals from my students. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the group for right now because I don't need to copy or save anything. I can change this if I want to. I'm going to leave this alone. I'm not going to edit it too much because I want to get into the actual part where my kids can record. Okay, so I'm going to add a topic, and I'm going to name this December goals, because I want all their goals. I want to know what they're focusing on for the month of December. And I'm going to say, please record your goal for December. I could spell, it'd be really nice. Okay, for December. All right, there we go. I can add media to this. I can add a GIF to this. I can add all kinds of different things. I want to make sure that I have special permissions for the group. And basically, it's all about the moderation. You want to have the moderation on. And what this means is that you have to view the video before anybody else who goes to that particular topic can view it. That's important, because if this is a goal, and maybe this is a very private goal, we don't want anybody else seeing it. What if it's like, you know what, we're doing really great, and they don't mind sharing that goal out with other people? Well, then we can make it so the other kids can see it, and then they can comment on it if that's something that your kids want to do. Goals are kind of a personal thing, so that might be something that's just between myself and my student. So I want to make sure that moderation is on, so that way I can tell when that video is going to go public, or if it's going to go public at all. It may never go public, and that way only I see it, nobody else sees it. So definitely want to have the moderation on. Okay, recording time. This is that amount of time, and again, you've got all the way up from 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You get to choose the amount of time. The default time is 1 minute and 30 seconds. I think that's more than enough time. Okay. And if I wanted more options, I can go down here and I can, we want this topic to be active, and we don't want it to go away anytime soon. So we're going to say never. We don't want to have an end date. But let's say that I did. Maybe for the whole month of December, I put on here December 30th, 31st. So the kids can go ahead and record December goals until December 31st. I could do that. And then on on January 1st, if they try to go in there, it's closed. They can't get into that goal anymore because it's closed. That doesn't mean they won't be able to see their stuff. They just can't get in there for right now. Okay. So the rest of this is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create the topic. All right, and this is the link to my topic. I could put this link into my Google Classroom, and I could say, okay, I want you to start recording your goals. I could also put this put this link, of course, into Teams. If I'm using Teams, I could send it out through Remind if I wanted parents to help out with this at home. There's a whole number of ways that I can send this link out to my kids, but when they click on the link, it's going to take them straight into that topic where they're going to be able to record. And again, they could use their Chromebook to record. You can use your phone to record. What's great about this program is you can use any kind of mobile device. So if I wanted to record, about Mayhem, and I didn't need to show him his data sheet, but I just wanted to check in with him, I could do a real quick Flipgrid and then send it to him if I wanted to. Okay, we're going to say all set. Okay, so here's our December goals, and then the kids, all they do is click on the record response, and then they can record the response. And again, they have 1 minute and 30 seconds to record. Now, I'm going to show you some of the recordings from previous things that I have done before, just so I can show you how easy it is for your students to share out those videos with you, because they're going to need to know how to do that. I shared out video with Mayhem. Now, Mayhem is going to need to share out video with me, right? And if he wanted to use Flipgrid, great. So I'm going to go ahead and I have one video in here. We'll just we'll check this one out here. Okay, so here's a topic, and here's a response. Somebody gave me a response. So what I can do is, if I click on I can do, as a teacher, I can do all of these things to a video. I can delete it, I can download it, I can edit it if I needed to, I can share it out, and this is where magic happens with this, is with the share. So this is the link to that one video. All I did was click on the video, and then I clicked share, and I got the link for the video. You can also get a QR code for that video. If we were in the classroom, this would be a great way to share them out with kids, because then all they would have to do was use their QR code scanner, and then they could get to the videos, or I could get to the videos. But this is the way right here. They just copy this, right? And then they put it into their data sheet, and then I would be able to see their response on the goals setting that we were talking about earlier. So it's really, really easy to share out. Now, as a teacher, I have this where I can make it active or I can make it hidden. This one was a public one, so this one's active. But because I'm moderating on the other one, all of them will be hidden until I mark them active, if I mark them active at all, because I'm probably not going to. Again, because goals are kind of like a personal thing between us. Now, if it's maybe a goal that is just, this is an awesome goal, and the student has achieved that goal, I might ask Mayhem, hey, you know what? You thought you were going to get to level 14, and you've already made it to level 28. Can I share your goal with the students and let them know how well you're doing? And you know, of course, he's probably gonna say, yeah, sure, go right ahead. And so then I can share out that video. And on the flip side of that, maybe he wanted to be up at level 30 by now, and he's only at level 28. So again, it's a personal thing. So I'm gonna have to make sure again that I know my students to see if it's okay for me to let other students see their goals. For me, not a big deal. So I can make it hidden or I can make it active. I'll make this one active again. Are there any questions about using Flipgrid? How to get into Flipgrid? It's very, very easy to make. You make your groups, which used to be the grids. That's your whole. That's like a container, and then within that container, you've got your topics, and you can have as many topics as you want within that group, and then that's where your students will be doing the recording. And again, what's nice about Flipgrid is it works on phones, it works on everything. Where Screencastify, you actually have to have a device, a laptop, a desktop, a Chromebook, because it doesn't work on mobile devices. It only works on standard devices. But I do really like Screencastify because it you know, I can do the editing piece on the back end of that. I can add titles. I can zoom into certain parts of it if I wanted to. I could actually zoom into that level 28 because I'm very proud of him for reading at a level 28, right? Questions? Any questions? No questions. Oh my goodness. Okay. So another way that we could use these videos, again, you know, getting in touch with the parents with this, but keeping them in their portfolio, right? Giving the students access to these videos where they could actually download them and they could put them into their Google Drive at some time. I mean, that the ones that they are responding to they'll have access to, but maybe they want my responses. So I could give those to the students at the end of the year. They can put them into their portfolio, and that could be part of their Google Drive for when they graduate. You know, some kids, they may want to go back and look at some of that stuff and say, oh, I remember my first grade teacher talking to me about this and how I was on level 28. That's so great. I love it. Some kids may want to do that. I know as a parent, I would want to go back and look at some of my kids' work in that way. So this would be a really great tool for me. And especially, again, that we're in this virtual classroom that we're in now. The breakout rooms are awesome. I love the breakout rooms, but having a breakout room for one particular student may not be effective for me as a teacher, right? Because I've got 18, 19, 20, 21 others, 25 others that are in the main room, and I bring out one student that we're going to have this conversation with, when I can just actually state this through a video that'll take me a minute and a half to do. Because by the time we open up the breakout room, we get to the breakout room, we sit, we're in there together, and the internet connection may not be that great. But I can record that video very, very quickly, send it out to him or her, and then they can send back to me very, very quickly. And we can definitely have conversations about that. Remember that goal we were talking about, Mayhem? I think you're almost there. You're almost there. I don't have to say more than that. And he would completely understand what I'm talking about. Any comments, any other ways that you would see where using video in this way would be beneficial or effective with your students? I know of course we use it for flipped learning. We use it to we can create our own lessons with it, which is great. But I say let's throw it back on the kids. Let's let them start creating the lessons. So having that, again, that front loading, showing them how to use Screencastify, showing them how to use Flipgrid. These tools are really great, but they need to know of course the proper way. What are the expectations? Well, my goal is I'm going to get 100 on every one of my papers. Well, we know that's not going to be that great of a goal. So, again, showing those, telling our kids how to get those expectations and how to create good goals for themselves. And again, by me modeling and saying, well, this is what I think that you should do. Oh, it might make them think about it a little bit more. And then maybe when they respond, they're going to have a little bit better understanding of what the goal is that possibly they should be trying to attain in class. Questions? Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any comments? Yes, I totally agree. I want to empower kids as much as I can. Do you have a question?
I was just going to say, I feel really bad because when we're teaching, this is kind of what we face, just those circles and very little feedback. And I apologize for that personally. But just to let you know, you're doing a fantastic job. I love Screencastify. I don't use it as much, but thank you for reminding me, and you're doing awesome.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I know that it's almost like, well, it's not as personal, but to me, it's very personal because I'm actually talking to that one student, right? Even though I'm talking through a camera, I'm talking directly to that one particular student. And I think that's a very powerful thing because, we're in a situation like this, and you're right. I see a whole bunch of circles. I see a couple people with their cameras on, and, that's what your kids see too. And let's face it, eventually we're going to tune out, right? Because it's just common. It's just part of our human nature. We're not going to be focused and engaged 100% of the time. And even more so in this type of a situation than even in the classroom, because our kids, they drop off from time to time. It happens, especially when I taught first grade. Oh my goodness, they would be probably on planet Mars somewhere doing something, because they just kind of zone out every once in a while. That's what kids do. But we have to keep them going. And if I can talk to that one student, and maybe that's going to make all the difference in the world for that one kid. Maybe he just needed me to say his name and say, hey, you know what? I really want you to record yourself playing the guitar because I'm excited for you. Oh my God, my teacher's excited that I'm going to play the guitar. Oh my gosh. You can already see where this could go. They're showing you they're swimming. They're showing you hitting the ball. And again, those are non-academic goals, but those are just as important as the academic goals for our kids. And especially right now, and I'm sorry I'm going to get on my soapbox, but our kids need us more than ever right now. And being able just to make even this kind of a connection with them, I think is critical. Yeah. Yes. Anybody else have any comments or questions?
I just wanted to really quick mention that I did like a lot your presentation because I have a data tracker, and it's just based on data, unit assessments and the assessments from the district. But now I can see how I can use Screencastify or Flipgrid to add the non-academic into that same document. So I really thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, I didn't have non-academic data on Mayhem's, and I actually had another one I was going to share out with you, but I just thought, because that's where we all go. We all go to that academic data. I did touch on it, saying, he's going to learn how to play the guitar. That might be kind of hard, but he's going to learn, right? But again, that's just getting to know our kids, and we are all seeking for connections, especially now, and all the kids seem to be very drawn to using a video in some way, because some of them they'll like go in the closet and they'll record themselves because they don't want anybody hearing them. And I just think, if they're going to be more honest that way, I think, even when they're face to face with you and you're like, can you tell me what happened? Or, hey, you're doing such a great job. Sometimes that's embarrassing to them because, it's just, it's hard for them to talk about themselves. But when they're in a room by themselves, sometimes they can just go on forever about themselves, right? Which is what we want. That's what we want for our kids. We want them to glow and shine and be bright stars. So I think this might be a way to get to some of those kids, especially kids that were like me, who didn't say anything. And if I didn't understand, I didn't say anything because I was too embarrassed to say something. I was too shy to talk. And even today, sometimes it's hard for me to talk about myself. But maybe if I had had a video where I could have talked to my teacher, maybe I would have opened up a little bit more. So I can see big uses for this, especially with those kind of kids that might not know how to even start to make a goal, right?
Misha, I have middle schoolers who don't love being on camera, so I wonder.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of them might like to do, even if it's private, might like to do an audio only response to me.
Sure. And you can, you know what? I would take anything from them.
Yes.
Because you need to get inside their heads. I got 2 10th graders that are sitting out in the front room right now, right? And they didn't even want to get on video. And I my heart was hurting about that they didn't want to. Mom, please don't put me on video. All those teachers are going to see us. It's going to be so embarrassing. And I'm like, okay, I get it. So I would take anything just so I can get inside their head and understand them a little bit better. And so with Screencastify, they could turn the webcam off and they can have the microphone on. And then they could be showing their data sheet, and they could be saying, hey, yeah, I know I didn't do really good on October 26th on that writing assignment. Yeah, I was feeling pretty cruddy that day. I had a really bad stomach ache. I mean, I can see kids doing that. And so I would start wherever I could with them. If that's all they want, they don't want to show their face, they don't have to, because there's a way to turn that webcam off, because it's a little switch on or off. Same with the microphone, on or off. So yes.
And Autumn just pointed out in the chat on Flipgrid, there's an option where they can blur out their face on that too.
Yes. And I know a lot of kids they'll put like an emoji over their face, or things like that. Yes, you can do that on just about all of the different video components that are out there now. You don't always have to just show your face. And I know even for some teachers, getting on camera is kind of a hard thing. And Amy Mayer, who is one of my biggest gurus, I just love her so much. She's amazing with training and everything else. But she says, you know what? It's okay if I'm having a bad hair day. Because you know what, I'm showing my kids I'm having a bad hair day. Oh well. Or maybe I didn't say that in the most proper way. I'm not going to go back and cut it again, because you know what, we're all human and we make mistakes, and my kids need to know that it's okay for us to make mistakes. And I was like thinking about that, and I thought, wow, that's very powerful, because I'm always like, oh man, I hate seeing myself on the video and all that. But we just have to, okay, let's just do this. Let's just do it. Our kids see us every day, and but when they are having some issues with being filmed, yes, just record their voice. I don't see a problem with that at all. And that's where I would start. And then you never know, you might get to the point where they're like, you know what, I think I might want to try to do video. It may turn them into, where they're a little more, they feel a little more brave and bold about that. So, but anybody else? we're just about out of time. I see a bunch of just little circles out there. Well, I hope I was able to give you just a little bit of insight. I know we kind of went over kind of some of the steps of using Screencastify and using Flipgrid, but that was just for our newbies out there that may not be as familiar with the tools. The tools are really great, and if you haven't used them, I highly suggest it will take you like 5 minutes to go in and to do a practice record and just see how easy it is to record your screen. And again, when I was doing Mayhem's data sheet, I was recording a tab. And just to clarify again, that when you record a tab, if you click away, it's still recording that tab. So if I click away to something else and I'm talking about it, my kids aren't going to see it. So just so you know the difference between doing your entire screen and a tab within Screencastify. So yes, whatever we can do to get those kids to be engaged, Ms. Aguayo, as what we want. And again, I really think they need us now more than ever. And I really feel for them. I feel for my own kids. You know, they just turned 16 not that long ago, and they have no incline that they want to learn how to drive. You know, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And I feel really bad about that. So yeah.
Can I share what I've done a little bit as far as like
sure,
more comfortable online? Because I do have fourth graders, and they are at that like cusp of, they used to like follow instructions and do things even if they didn't want to, and now they're at the point of like, no, I don't want to show my face anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I did at the beginning, I'm done. So we did like a Flipgrid where they do like random facts or topics, and it's just things that they enjoy. So that way they get to know each other. I'm at Mission Valley, so we actually consolidated. I was at Mary Manor, so we actually have the two groups who have never met in person before. So that's like another factor. So I really get the kids to socialize during our SEL activities, and I use the breakout rooms, and they're randomly shuffled. So every day they're like with different kids, and they actually participate more in the breakout rooms. And then when I log into their breakout room, all of a sudden all the cameras turn off, everybody's muted. I'm like, what? And I had some of those kids last year. I'm like, don't be afraid of me. So that kind of gets them engaged, and I might not be able to see it, but they actually engage with each other more. And they've made friends from the other campus, and now there's like more unity. So that's been kind of fun. And then partly like getting to know your kids, right? So everybody's obsessed with Among Us. So I downloaded Among Us. I started playing. So whenever we have breaks in class, one of the students will be like, Miss, can we play Among Us? And so they'll set up the private game, and they'll be like, are you going to play with us today? Please, please, please. So I really try to make sure I play with them at least once a week. So they get all excited, and I change my name, and they're always trying to figure out which character is Miss Wow. We need to get her. So it's
I have not played that yet. I know that we've pushed it out to the Chromebooks. Well, they can download it if they want to. And that was a suggestion from one of the middle schools, and we were like, well, is this a game that really? But because it's a problem-solving game and it's a game for kids to connect, we were like, yeah, we need to push it out.
It's really like deductive skills, like inferencing, and then they get to talk to each other. And I'm like, wow, you're actually typing in the little discussion, but you don't do that in the chat box. Okay, you know, so it really is fun. And then so what I started doing yesterday, we actually had like a movie night. So I invited the kids, and anybody could come, you know, they brought their snacks, and it was so cute. One of the students had dog treats. He's like, Miss, my dog is going to watch the movie with us, but he needs to sit too. So I was like, oh my gosh. So one of the students that never has her camera on finally turned her camera on, and we haven't seen her since August. She's been logged in, but we haven't seen her face. So everybody's like, wow, we hadn't seen you before. You look so pretty. You should keep your camera on all the time. And it was like warming my heart, like, So this coming Friday, we're going to do a game night. So we'll do, we'll play Among Us. And then I was also thinking of showing them like virtual chess or like different games. So something that's fun, more interactive for them, where it's not just focused on, you know, hey, you have all these missing assignments, you know, you need to log in, you know, we're going to start tutoring. Something to where they're logging in and it's fun. There's no pressure. We really are just coming together as a little community. So that's kind of work.
I think that's great, and that's all we really want is we want a community of kids, and that's why I said you might want to keep those videos private. But if you know, go back to Mayhem. But if Mayhem really attained his goal, I might go and talk with him and say, hey, you know what? I really want to share your goal out with everybody because you did such an awesome job. And then that might make somebody else go, you know what? I want her to talk about me like that. So I want to get to my goal. And that might help them also, you know, to get motivated to try to meet their goals more. I don't know, but yeah, just a way to connect with the kids. I love what you're doing. I think that's awesome. And again, I hope everybody was able to pull just a little nugget out of this. And if you have any other additional questions or anything, you can always email me, mdaniel@ysc.net. I respond pretty quickly to email. And I can try to help you. And if I don't know the answers, I'll try to find somebody who can answer you. So thank you all so much for being here on a Saturday. We really appreciate you being here.